and welcome to Bus Driver Simulator. It's a Russian bus simulator game I didn't know about. I won a key for it in the recent Twitch stream from somebody. And well, I have been playing OMSI for quite a lot back in the days. And this game really reminds me of OMSI, the early OMSI that is. Although this game was released in December 2019, we're watching here, and OMSI is from 2011. It's a game where you can drive through various cities and towns. Most of them are Russian. The ones that come with the game is Serpukhov. I don't even know how to pronounce that because it's Russian. And Cologne is also in it. But then there is the DLC, the outskirts of Murman, which is more of a countryside Russian route. And there is different routes that you can drive through these cities and places. In the career mode you have access to a bit more. So this is the standard map that comes with the game. Other than that, there is also Cologne or Köln, as they say in Germany. This is a DLC that I bought. It's in the countryside of Russia, and this is another Russian city. They try to rebuild these cities as faithfully as possible, but of course it's a simulation game. But I have to say, as far as Köln or Cologne goes, I can say that it pretty much looks like it. It is a game where you eventually have to earn money to upgrade your buses and buy better buses, but there are also some cheat codes available for this game, and I'm not above that to use those, because otherwise it would take too long. So let's show one route, or maybe even two, in this game, and give you a bit of an impression of what this game is like. I'm choosing for the career mode and the biggest and newest map. This was the only map that I had to pay full price for. I bought it on Steam. The game itself at the moment on Steam costs 25 euros, but I found key code sellers like Greenman Gaming that sold the game for 2 euros and every DLC for 30 cents. Except then this latest map that was not available on that site. Normally I would not recommend buying from key resellers, but I have no bad experiences with Greenman Gaming, so yeah. Well, you're looking at a Citaro here with a double axle on the back, 3 doors, and this one can be bought in the game, as various others are. This one will cost you, well, I already bought it so I can't even see anymore, but I think it was about 18,000. Furthermore, this is the standard bus that comes with the game. You don't really have to buy it because it gets provided, and there are various older models of buses that would fit well on older Russian routes. There are also some tourist cars you can buy with in-game money, not with real money of course. So that's good. There's various versions of it, and well, some more Russian buses. Very old ones. I don't even know all the types of these buses. This was one of the buses that I bought as a DLC that I know for sure, but in this list of buses that I'm clicking through here, there might be a couple that were DLC buses as well. This looks a bit like a MAN city bus. And if we go back to the bus that we are in now, that I want to use for this map, it does not have the Mercedes logo on it, obvious reasons, licensing and stuff. And you can actually change the livery on this bus, and let's go through the spare parts section, and there you can find different paint jobs or liveries or repaints that you can use for it. This looks a bit like the map, the colors you would use in Berlin, in OMSI. So let's go for this blue one then. That's more of a Russian repaint. And this one I got from the Steam Workshop that can be added for free to the game. This is the only things you can mod in the game. You cannot put other buses in. You cannot modify the maps. You cannot add new maps. That's all only the stuff provided by the game developers. Some stuff here at the top. You can see here is the amount of money that I have, and one of the cheat codes to add more money is to press the C and the M button on your keyboard, and then you can see that my money goes up here, which is very handy because if you start the game, you can only drive the standard free buses that come with the game, and not any of the better ones. You have to pay for that, and probably takes hours and hours to drive and earn money with ticket sales to do that. Also, you can put gas in your truck here if you in your bus if you need it. This is the gas meter there. It's also on the dash. You can see later. And then you can find different times of the day to drive your bus. I think the time it's set now, a bit around 9 o'clock would be nice, because I like to drive in the dark with all the city lights and stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Then, well, you can select various routes. This is the simplest route. I think we'll take that one. Already have been driving it. Is the shortest one, but there's four routes on this map. And if you really want, you can also make your own custom routes by just clicking on the stops you want to use in the game. So you can use all the bus stops that are available here. But I will take a pre-defined, already made route. It's way easier to do that. And I have to select the route here. And then it says how much time it takes from one bus stop to the next. Also, this is also already figured out for me. So I'll just use this and start the track or the route. You can play with keyboard and mouse. It also accepts an Xbox controller, and I'm using a steering wheel, and for that I'm using a Logitech Momo driving wheel, which is a very old one but still works. There's not much to do as far as it comes to starting up the bus. This is the normal Citaro layout, which you probably know from OMSI if you already played OMSI. It is possible to put the cabin lights on. The only thing is I forgot the button for that, so I'll have to go into the control section, where you can see that you can set up and change the controls that you want to use. I used this preset because it was closest to the Momo, and well, otherwise I had to do it all from start. Minimap radio, I'll have to find the lights. Interior lights is K. We're gonna need those because it will be pitch black otherwise in the bus. This is the outside of the bus. I have to say it's a pretty good model. And you can actually also zoom in on the buses and the details. I probably should not be talking for too long about this bus here, because otherwise we are going to be late for the shift that we need to turn. So there's various camera angles that you can shift through. You can also move the camera in and out in the bus if you want. So I think the best thing is just to start it now. I have to release the parking brake, and then I can go already off. The camera movement cannot be controlled with the steering wheel buttons. It has to be done with the mouse. The same is true for if you were using an Xbox controller. Of course, it has indicators. Despite it being a Citaro, this bus is not very fast or powerful, but it will do the job. Long bus, so I might be hitting some curbstones. There we have the first one already. It happens. This bus has 3 doors, and I open them all so the passengers can get in. You also have to close the doors by yourself. And then in the interior of the bus there is the well, maybe it's the sat-nav system that indicates the departure time. It says 20:95, which it already is, so I better leave now. If you leave too late, that's a penalty financially. If you leave too early, that's a financial penalty too. At the moment we made 128, well, let's call it rubles, because this is a Russian city. And well, that's the way you can earn money, so you can level up your bus and buy better bus parts and better buses in the end. Also hitting any objects, cars, traffic lights, or even driving through traffic lights can cost you a fine too, so you better avoid those as well. Switch to this outdoor cam so I can see if all passengers are in. The game has the setting so that if first all passengers get out and then the new ones come in. That's realistic. But in order to make sure that I'm not driving off while passengers are still boarding or the doors are open, which can cost you penalties as well, I pay attention to the doors. I think we almost had an accident with a car coming from the right. Just about missed that. I'm doing this video in English because I'm Dutch and I don't think there's too many people that understand Dutch. Although I have some Dutch subscribers to my channel, but most of them do not. You may have to use the parking brake because sometimes the bus keeps rolling back or forth depending on the situation. This is a very sharp turn here. I've been hitting the curbstones here before, so I'm taking a wide berth now. It seems like I still may have been hitting something. Yeah. I have to think about the controls every now and then, because just the other day I was playing OMSI and I have some different button layouts for that. But it's gonna work. Very quirky Russian passengers in the buses, and there are even some drunk people around. We haven't seen those yet, but if we get lucky there might be some drunks boarding the bus. That's the typically Russian quirkiness that was added to this game. Of course it's a Russian game. Russian church here to the right. Could have been driving on the right lane, but I prefer to drive in the middle because there is more room for error then. Just about made that traffic light. Oh, I don't know how this works. In Holland, traffic lights switch to yellow first before they go to red. And then depending on the speed limit that is in that piece of the city or the road, you get about 3.5 seconds for a 50 km/h road, or 5 seconds for a 80 km road. I know that because I had to look it up, because I have been driving through the orange light not that long ago, well, about a month now, so I think I'm in the clear. Nothing will happen, but I had to figure it out because I did not know how much time I had to get through that orange light. And the traffic tickets in the Netherlands are pretty hefty. Violating a red traffic light costs you €250. That's quite some money to lose if that goes wrong. I'm already a little bit behind, so I don't think we can gain that very quickly because the bus does not go really fast. I think with a normal Citaro in Amsi you would be able to drive about 80 kilometers an hour way quicker, but hey, that's what it is in this game. Let's have some looks at the interior, what's happening here, and the passengers. Most passengers are sitting, I've not seen anybody standing yet. As is very usual in Omsi, most passengers seem to prefer standing. There are some streets where you are not allowed to drive into, and they're blocked off a bit like Euro Truck Simulator style. So that's the one dead ahead. If you drive into that, it's another financial penalty. I better wait for it to turn green now before I take off. And then there's a car coming and a bus. Better give them right away in order to prevent collisions. Just get a bit of getting used to control the camera with your mouse and at the same time using the steering wheel for driving. Oh, I hit something. Yep. There. This one has got me before. It's so easy to hit. But you have to steer in a bit quicker because, well, this is a long bus and you also do not want to stand away from the curbstone that far. Which I actually am already. Although it's not as critical as in Omsi, then you have to stand really close to the curbstone. Otherwise the passengers will not board at all. I'm right on time now, so that's nice. But if you use the cheat codes to up your money in your account, then you don't really have to deal with with all the penalties. Of course, it's not as big of a deal. If you lose some money, if you hit a curbstone or violate a light or are too late. So it's quite nice actually that is a possibility in the game, and I am I'm gladly using that. There is no ticket sales in this game; it's just automatic. Which actually I welcome because it can be a pain in the ass doing ticket sales in Omsi. I usually set it to automatic sales anyway, or no ticket sales at all. I mean, in these modern days, nobody buys tickets for real money in buses anymore, or hardly. And I think there's even cities in the Netherlands where you can't even buy tickets anymore with cash. I think I drove off too early, so now we might be getting a fine. I don't know how quickly that goes. Apparently 10-15 seconds too early is not already a fine. many simulator games, the passenger models are not the prettiest, but if you compare it to OMSI, I'd say this is actually quite acceptable. Not that I'm dishing OMSI here, because it was my favorite bus driving game anyway, and it still is actually. I've also been driving another game called The Bus, but it has only one route in Berlin, and I've driven it to and fro about 6 times, and then, well, then I already had it. This bus driver simulator is giving you a bit more variety and things to play. Also, they are working on the sequel of this game that's going to be called Bus World. That should be coming out this year in 2022. Not sure exactly when, of course. And that will be having better graphics, better looking buses, and also there are some extra scenarios added to that game. There will be a Chernobyl map. You can drive to Pripyat before the Chernobyl disaster as a driver delivering people to the plant or to the city, and then after the disaster you can also help evacuate Pripyat and deliver liquid haze to the Chernobyl plant. So I'm looking forward to that. I have a bit of a strange fascination for anything Russian, and also Chernobyl in particular. I've been parking a bit far away from the curbstone this time, or well, actually no better or worse than before, because well, talking and driving at the same time, that can be a challenge. Oh, look, now I'm driving away too quickly. Let's see what happens if we get a fine for that. I should be driving at 21:12 and it was 21:11. No, I'm not getting fined for it. Not sure why it didn't happen. Maybe it has to be more than a minute too early before it does that. I've gotten fines that way before. So it does not state the arrival time at the next bus stop, but at the time that you have to drive away from it, the departure time. Not easy to keep on the road with this camera view. So I'm trying to zoom in and out, but that does not seem to be a possibility in that view. Oh, I accidentally turned off the engine because I used the OMSI button to open the doors, which is not correct. This is a modern bus that starts pretty quickly, but I will drive another bus after this one, and that's going to be an old Russian bus, and that one definitely needs some persuasion to get started. This line is not that long. I think it's about 20 or 30 minutes. I don't exactly know anymore. You can see all the Russian houses here to the left and the right. It's been made to look Russian, and obviously it has been made by Russians, and that way, well, it definitely looks Russian. I think I've been driving over the curbstone there, but who cares? This is Russia. Obviously you shouldn't be doing that in Russia as well. Just in case any Russian viewers will ever watch this video. Probably not. One thing I forgot to explain, that there is a mini-map here, and you can see it on the bottom right of the screen. But obviously I can't be showing that anymore. There is also a bigger map that can show you the entire layout. So I made 422 rubles, and well, that's going to be added to my account. Let's see if we can load up the older map. Yeah, you can. This is the entire map, so you can see the starting point and the end point of the line. There is also a gas symbol on it. You have to pay attention to the amount of gas that's in your bus. So if you run out of gas, you have to call in for the tow truck to get you back to the garage. So it's better to fill up at a garage, or you can fill up at one of these gas stations down the route. I'm not sure that is a very handy way to do things, and I would recommend doing it in the garage because you lose time over this. So okay, let's call it quits for this one because we already finished it. Let's switch to the internal camera, turn off the engine, the lights, and that's it for this one. And then I'll start up another route that shows off some of the Russian quirkiness of this game. And for that I'll go to, I think the scenario was the easiest. This is on the countryside, and this one is called the potato route. The truck which is usually used to take potatoes from the collective farm to the vegetable base in Murom broke down. Fortunately, there is a free bus. The seats in the cabin were temporarily removed in order to load the sacks there. Objective: pick up the vendors from the bus stop and drive them along with the cargo to the store in Murom without any accidents. So we are being a potato delivery van today. There's also some highways in the game that was not in this route. I could make another video with that, but maybe not. So this is a very much older bus, smaller also, driving on the countryside, and as you can see there are sacks of potatoes in it. That's how they do that in Russia. Just fill it up with potatoes, and there's some seats left for some poor passengers that want to take the bus. So let's do this. This is a short one. I think it's about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm just showing it to show you, well, what a variety of routes and landscapes there are in this simulator. You do have to take your time with this little bus because it's not particularly fast. There is a bus stop here, but it does not indicate, has no indication that I need to stop there, so I'll skip it. There is dynamic weather in this simulator, but I have not seen much difference than clear skies so far, or fog. But maybe if you drive it for longer, you get other weather scenarios. I have not found any way to set the weather yourself. Also, there is no option to use realistic weather as you can do in OMSI. Now we need to pick up some passengers here, which are on a bit of a strange position. Oh no, I'm making a mistake. I should not have done this. Well, let me show off the way to drive back. You can put it on your controller, of course, but it's the X button on the keyboard that allows you to drive backwards. So if you get stuck or you make a mistake like I did here and drive in the wrong direction, then you can change direction and get out of it that way. I got a bit confused by the minimap. I thought we were having to go to the right side here, but obviously not. Well, there's some Russian dachas here to the left and the right. Many Russians have these for holiday homes. But there are also still people living in those. Although on the countryside there are less and less people living, and more people go to the cities. I think we need to go straight ahead now here, if I'm not mistaken. This map is a bit confusing, despite the fact that I have been driving it before. Well, this was not supposed to be the way to go, but let's take it anyway. I'm not going to reverse out of this anymore. Must be the Russian bus driver that maybe had a shot of vodka before he went to work. Although real Russian bus drivers probably won't be doing that. They will be sacked if they do it. Oh, I'm arriving too early here. Apparently that's also what gives me a fine here. Yeah, I'm too early. I've not been paying any attention to the schedule at the moment. Let's see, what does it say here? Minus 105. Yeah, I was too early here. No, too early. I can drive off because the next one I need to depart at 17. And it is already 19. Yeah, we are too late because of my driving the wrong way and backing up. That took too much time. So I'm too late now. And if I don't catch up now, I will be losing money. Also, I think I'm also driving in the wrong direction again. It's gonna be a very interesting video this way. Yo! And then we hit the car. Let's see what that looks like. What happens, at least that I've seen before, when cars drive into you, they spawn away. Yeah, that's what happens. So this car is spawning away. And the other one that drove into us is probably going to spawn away too soon. So although normally I would restart the recording and play it again and do it properly, I just want to show you what happens if you make a mistake and what happens if you get an accident. Not that I'm doing this on purpose, because I'm just being stupid here and not doing the right thing. So don't give me any credit for doing this on purpose. I was just genuinely making mistakes here. But hey, we're gonna drive this scenario to the end anyway, just to show you the scenery and how they build it and what it looks like. That is, if I can keep this fan on the road. That's a bit of a downside to having to use the mouse to control the camera, because you have to let one of your hands off the steering wheel. That can cause problems, of course. Let's see if we can take over this old Jigula or Lada, as we know it in the West. These cars are called Jigulas in Russia. I have no idea if you can topple a bus if you drive too fast. So far I've not managed to do so, but maybe it is. I'm not going to try that out here right now. Oh, there's my colleague coming. Oh, he's turning to the left. Okay, no problem. I was almost expecting them to drive into me, but it did not happen. Interestingly, there is a bit of a highway here, which I did not expect on this map. But we are driving from the countryside, bringing potatoes to town. I think that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. The bus also has a horn, but usually it's very flimsy. This one is quite good. The Citaro one is really flimsy. I forgot to demonstrate that, but that one is this one is quite loud. The Citaro one, not at all. Well, I think this is kilometers an hour according to the speed indicator. It's about 40, but I got a feeling that we're driving way faster. So I'm not sure that's very accurate. There's some modern cars on it, but most of them are typically Russian cars. Let's see if we can let this guy in, because that's the police. I don't know what happens if you hit that one. He did stop though. And he's not behind me, so I'm not sure what's going on there. This is one of those petrol stations you can stop over to fill up your bus. I'm not going to do that now because A, I'm already late, and B, I don't think it's so worth going through the hassle of doing it, although it might be interesting to see how it works. On the other hand, it probably also has to be indicated on the map that there is a petrol station, and this one had no indicator. Oh my god! I just avoided an accident, but for that I had to go through the red lights. I was speeding there. This is one of the worst ones I have done so far here, I'm sure. Okay, 1 traffic light, 30 collisions, 2 times in the wrong direction. I'm a really good Russian bus driver. I hope I don't trigger anybody's OCD with this driving, because I know a lot of UMSI players just like to do it as good and realistically as possible. But considering all the mistakes that I already made, it doesn't really matter anymore. And the fact that I lose 605 rubles on this already is not a big deal, because I can add a lot more rubles if I want. But if you were playing this correctly, of course, then this would be a bit of a problem, driving like this. I do remember that the stopping off point was in a bit of a strange position. I think it was in front of this apartment building there to the right. Yeah, there it is. I have to wait a little bit for this car to pass. Looks a lot like a BMW. And then I'm going to drive in here, swinging about a little bit. Although this is not a very sure long bus. And the only way I find to drive into it is over the sidewalks. I don't see any other way of doing it. Yes, I'm late, I knew that. This should be the end of the scenario, but for some reason it's not taking that. Maybe I should drive a bit more forward. Oh no, he took it. He had to the game had to think about it, so... Well, obviously I did not very well. He did not collect enough money, follow the schedule, the traffic rules, etc. And that's obviously not what I did. So yeah, that's a bit of a look at Bus Driver Simulator by a Russian company, which I cannot spell the name correctly off, and it's well, you can get it for cheap if you want, and yeah, I can only recommend it. So far I have been having a lot of fun with it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to Bus World, the successor of Bus Driver Simulator. Especially with the Chernobyl scenarios in there, I would really like to play those, but that can take some time, hopefully somewhere this year. Okay, thank you for watching this video, maybe see you in another one, and have a good day. Okay, bye!